Welcome to the Vibrant Couple. I have invited my friend Monique Stephens again this morning to talk about making requests. This is the second video in a two-part series. The first part was on learning to make the difference between requests and demands. And basically, demands is when you feel forced to do something, and a good request is when you feel that you have full agency, that you do it willingly, not because you feel forced.
In today's video, we're going to talk about the expected benefits, how to make requests. We'll also do some role play and Q&A. But before we do that, Valdo, why is it important to make effective requests?
It is critical, especially in our love relationship, which this video is about. In our love life, most of us are drifting. We are bound to our hopes and fears and hope that we are going to get what we want and fear that we are not going to get what we don't want. And because most of us have not learned to make effective requests, we are walking on eggshells, constantly afraid and in hope.
Yeah, I believe that you and I have shared before that our pain is created in relationships and our skills are created in relationships and our healing can be created in relationships. Learning what we want makes us more vibrant individually and it makes our couplehood more vibrant. And being able to make those requests and be on board with getting my needs met is good for all of us.
Exactly. And so the intent of this video is to not only to learn to make better requests individually, but also as a couple to create a culture of making requests. So now let's take a look at the steps so you get a yes from your partner. First, you identify what you want or don't want. Then you make your request. It is imperative that you make your request in a positive phrasing. It is much easier for your partner to give you what you want versus to not give you what you don't want. Then you check how your request is landing on your partner. You may then negotiate or organize so both of you can get your needs met. A word of caution here is compromising typically leads to neither of you getting your needs met. Most people think that making requests ends here. Step 3 is critical, is where you follow through on your request. So you may encourage your partner to do what it is that they say they would do and also appreciate when they have done it. That appreciation is both of effort and result, including the quality of your partnership. Monique and I are now going to do several role plays to highlight the different parts of making a request. You ready, Monique?
Let's go. Valdo, do you want to visit our parents this weekend?
Monique, I'm a little confused. You and I are learning to make a clear request. I don't fully get the our parents. Are you talking about yours or mine?
Oh, you caught me making a wishy-washy request. And I was probably being manipulative too because I'm trying to guilt you into we should visit some parents this weekend.
So,
And so,
Monique, what do you want?
yeah, so if I'm making a clean request, what I want is to try that again. Valdo, would you be willing to visit your parents this weekend and my parents this weekend?
Yes. How about
So much easier.
I know. And so let's do some organization. How about we go visit my parents Saturday morning and your parents Sunday afternoon?
Let's see. Will that still work for me? It is harder for me to visit my parents and yours, but I think actually, yeah. I think because we can have some good connection Saturday night, and I'll be recharged and ready for my parents. Yeah, let's do that. And,
Wonderful.
and I just appreciate you for calling me out for my wishy-washy request, and I appreciate our relationship as it's just getting more playful and more direct.
That was a really good example of a wishy-washy request that could be interpreted as a demand and that was strengthened by basically sharpening it. So Monique is going in his second role play to make the same request, but without checking how this is landing on me. You ready, Monique?
I'm ready. So, Valdo, I was thinking this weekend we could visit your parents on Saturday and then my parents on Sunday, and then we could probably stop by Costco after visiting my parents and then maybe come home.
Hold on, slow down, young lady. You know, I'm a man, I can process one thing at a time. So, I'm hearing you're making a request. We're going to visit my parents Saturday morning and your parents Sunday afternoon.
Yeah, and then I threw on a request to run an errand afterwards, just to see what I could get away with.
Exactly. And so this is not about what you can get away with. Let's slow down there. So yes, on my parents' Saturday morning, you want to go to your parents on Sunday afternoon. Yeah, that works for me.
Okay, fantastic. And maybe we can just decide after visiting my parents if we still want to run an errand.
I like that. And more importantly is I want to make sure that you don't feel rushed to go visit your parents. Let go and visit your parents. We prepare it well so that you feel that you and I are a strong team together. And then after that, we'll go to Costco if that's the right thing to do or not.
I really appreciate your leadership there and inviting me to slow down because I noticed that our relationship benefits when we both slow down.
In this third role play, we're going to piggyback on a role play or scenario that Monique and I have done a number of times. And by the way, Monique and I are just colleagues. We are not a real couple, which makes it much easier to be role playing. But in the scenario, Monique and I have struggled for years and years and years with Monique wanting the dishes to get done just after lunch and me struggling with that for a number of reasons. At the beginning, Monique was typically making a request of not what she not wanted. And then over the years, she's learned to make the request of what she wanted. And her and I have, as a result, made an agreement that I'm the one doing the dishes just after lunch is done. So just picture Monique and I just finished lunch.
Valdo, since I made lunch, I'm looking forward that you're going to be doing the dishes now.
And so, Monique, that feels a little manipulative. Would you mind? I love that you're following up on your request. Would you mind doing it in a way that is, I feel less, contrived because you did lunch?
That's okay. Valdo, I'm noticing that my energy goes up and my affection goes up because I'm anticipating you following through and doing the dishes and looking forward to us having some quality time after that.
So, Monique, that doesn't feel right either because I feel contrived that I'm the one having to do something to get your energy up. And so, is there another way? Let's try again. Let's do a take three.
Okay. Valdo, I just enjoyed having lunch with you. Thank you.
So, that is much better. And the silence feels a little contriving. You know what I'm talking about.
Because the one in me that wants to nag and remind is there, and you're picking up on that. And so my
Yeah.
work is to just trust that you're going to honor my request. And then if we fast forwarded this role play a half hour from now, I just feel the appreciation and thank you so much for doing the dishes.
So yes, and basically because you are expecting something from me, in your silence, it doesn't feel good. So how about we do a take four?
Valdo, I enjoyed having lunch with you, and I'm still working on that inner nag that's just wondering if you're remembering the request I made about you doing the dishes, and I just want to out her.
So that is much better. There is still a little bit of your walking on eggshells with me. And so, how about I make a suggestion for take five? Valdo, that was a wonderful lunch. Time to do the dishes.
Direct, clean, clear. I like it.
Yeah, and that doesn't, it's impersonal, so it doesn't make me feel bad. You're just stating time to do the dishes, the same way we tell children time to go to bed.
Yes, and I'm looking forward to the time when my inner nag is quiet because I so trust that you'll just do it.
Sounds good. So, do you want to try that take five?
Absolutely. Valdo, that was a great lunch. Time to do the dishes.
That feels good. Thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate our relationship and how it's growing.
Yeah, it took years. It took us years, but we're getting there. In this fourth role play, we are going to play on the stereotype that it is men that make sexual advances and they make them too quickly, too directly. You ready, Monique?
Yep, let's do it.
Monique, I would love to have sex tonight.
No, thank you. If I feel into it, I just, if we're going to negotiate or organize that request, I don't feel really seen and understood by you. Could we spend just some time connecting before you even railroad with a request?
I like it because I'm noticing my request was much too direct. And yes, I would love to connect. And I know how important that is to you. So, how about I give you a foot massage?
Maybe after we've connected a little bit, I think touch would be a nice next thing. And yeah, a foot massage. And I'm hearing for you that you would like sex to be part of it. Maybe if we can say it doesn't necessarily have to be about penetration, but just touching and enjoying each other. Would that meet the need for your request?
Yeah. And basically, I have a need for sex, you have a need for connection. Let's find a way to start in a way that meets your needs, that could possibly to meet my needs. And what I've learned in the past is when I slow down, um, even when we don't have penetrative sex, if when I can feel very honored and fulfilled by our connection and the time we spend together.
Yes, and even exploring this request together, I notice my sexual energy increases just in anticipation. When you slow down and we slow down, my desire for sex goes up.
Wonderful. Notice that Monique and Valdo did a really good job at what is typically a bomb in many relationships. They find way to connect. They found way to meet both needs without compromising. Because compromise would be Valdo saying, oh, okay, no sex tonight, and I go do something else, which basically would be disconnecting and not meeting Monique's need for connection. So by engaging, by staying in there, what are her needs, what are his needs, we found a way to organize and create the beginning of an evening that could get or that would get both needs met. And now our Q&A. First question, what words help soften a request?
Great question. Would you be willing to? Or I'm wondering if. And check with your partner. How's it landing with them? For example, how is this landing with you? Or does that feel like it meets your needs?
I struggle between being polite and direct in making requests.
What we're looking for here is being respectful and direct, not wishy washy. Be clear about what you want, ask for it, and that will convey respect. This viewer asks, what helps me start requests on the right foot?
We typically start on the wrong foot when we are not connected. So being connected is critical. If you are referring to a recurring issue, something has gone wrong again and again and again in your relationship, it would be good to start with an understanding of past difficult experiences for each other, then to move into each other's needs. And then once you have that understanding of the needs, then you can express a request or several requests to get those needs met. Does the SMART acronym for goals applies to making requests?
That can actually be a great tool. So It organizes you in being clear with your requests. Is your request specific? Is it measurable? Is it achievable? Is it realistic or relevant? And is there a time set with your request? So, yes, it can be a great tool.
I feel smarter now. What if my partner repeatedly says no to my request?
A no is actually really important information because if they're saying no to you, they're saying yes to something else. So if you can find out what they're saying yes to, there's a need getting met there. And is it possible that somewhere in the middle with that negotiation and organization, you can find a yes that meets both of your needs? My partner and I have gotten really good at our daily life request skills, but we're still struggling to ask for sexual requests. What should we do?
First, I'm really happy to hear that you have learned to make daily requests because that is a good sign that the two of you are working to a stronger partnership and that the two of you are learning to create a culture of respect. Sex is a really important part of a long-term relationship in which either it makes the glue, like the two of you are more bonded, connected with each other, or like glue becomes brittle, it becomes something that's chafing between the two of you. So I invite the two of you to first have a meta conversation in which you sit down around a table or you are walking in nature in a place that is conducive to have a basically overall big picture conversation, and you discuss how the two of you can learn to talk about sex and learn to make requests about sex. Then I invite the two of you to start very gently, very slowly, and in which you discuss how about we each make one request of each other, one small one, and then we see where that goes. And then you follow the request steps that you check how your request is landing, and then you follow through and you appreciate.
Valdo, I loved your answer, and many couples struggle with making clear sexual requests.
Yeah, so many couples talking about sex. I made a video recently to help couples basically break that barrier. I also recently interviewed an expert on feminine pleasure who basically talked about how we can break that barrier and liberate feminine pleasure.
Yes, I noticed it was a great video for both men and women to watch.
How do I learn more about making requests?
We invite you to look at nonviolent communication, and it's done really well by Orrin J. Sofer. He does a mindful version, and so it takes you out of the potential weaponizing of the script of nonviolent communication, and it brings you to a place of really connecting to needs and those mindful requests, deep respect. It's a fantastic resource. He has a book called Say What You Mean and a great website.
For anyone learning about nonviolent communication, it is a years-long process. So that weaponization that Monique is talking about is just part of the process. Keep going, keep learning. And yes, that book is a fantastic resource. If this video inspired you to liberate more love, please hit the like button below and subscribe so you can be notified when I publish new juicy content. And please share with all you believe would benefit. I look forward to seeing you very soon.